Man, I think I'm on. Okay. Hopefully I got that right. Welcome. Thanks for tuning in to What's Up Ocala. This is Andrea Praber with Great Expectations Realty. Oh, you kind of missed the great. I guess it's now Expectations Realty. So tonight we are going to go shopping. I was actually answering some questions today, actually for an investor. He's looking at purchasing some houses and stuff, and he's asking about the rental market. I'm like, well, the rental market's still really strong. You can't find a house like a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, double car garage house. You cannot find it for less than $1,500 a month right now, which is, that's interesting. But what was funny is he's like, well, how much could somebody actually spend if they decided to get a mortgage for that same house? And I'm like, it's a good question. So I was playing around with the numbers, and lo and behold, it's the same freaking number. I was like, oh my goodness. So I figured we would play around with some numbers tonight. Keep in mind, I am not a mortgage lender. You guys know that. I am a real estate broker. And a lot of things do depend on your own circumstances. So let's say if you have a higher amount of, I don't know, if you have a higher amount of credit, you're going to have a lower interest payment. If you have, let's say you have a lot of debt and not that much income, that's going to affect things as well. There's actually a lot of things that come into play when you're getting a mortgage, but we're going to take some basic numbers and estimates and stuff and just kind of play around with them. So I thought that would be kind of fun to do tonight, especially looking at, all the changes of the market and, all of the interest rate and all of the house prices going down. I mean, what does that actually do to your monthly bottom line? And that's what really people are interested in. They don't really care about, okay, well, the interest rates, the interest rates, the interest rates, the interest rates, the house prices, house prices, house prices. What do I have to pay each month? That's what's important, right? So yeah, that's what we're like. What am I going to have to pay for down payment? What am I going to have to pay for whatever? So we're going to play around with some of that tonight. I wish I could share a screen on this thing with a YouTube Live. I don't think they have that capability yet. Like with a Zoom, I can do that. So sometimes I'll do a Zoom training with my sales agents, especially if I'm out of town. I don't want to miss out on sales training. So I'll do a Zoom and it's really fun because you can do like whiteboard and you can share a screen and show different videos and stuff like that. So it makes it a lot more fun. I can't really do that on here. I haven't figured out a way to do that. I do have a big screen in the other room, in the sales training room. So I guess I could have that playing in the background behind my head. I don't know. Maybe one of these days I will get a lot more tech savvy. So far, that has not happened. I'm going to tell you a funny story today, though. Before we get into it too much, I was actually at Wawa today because I was really hungry for lunch/breakfast. I don't know. I was running around like crazy. I had my daughter, had to take her to the doctor's, the pediatrician office, and then I had to get to the property management meeting. Then I had to get her back to school. So I was like flip-flopping all over. Anyway, so yeah, I ran into Wawa. Because of course, if you're hungry and you need gas, you go into Wawa, right? Ran in there today. I ordered a sandwich. Oh, dear. I'm so sorry. Whoops. Speaking of. Okay, anyway, that's my daughter, of course. Because, it's not like I don't do a live stream like everybody knows. Anyway, we're going to leave that one alone. So I ran into Wawa. I was like, I ordered a couple sandwiches. There was this huge line. I was like, oh man, this is going to be a while. So I grabbed a couple of mozzarella sticks while I was checking out for the sandwiches and walk over there. And I'm like stuffing marinara sauce and whatever in my face, just like her. And this guy goes, oh, you're the girl from YouTube. All of a sudden, everybody in line turns over and looks at me, and I'm like mid-mozzarella stick, like, I was like, well, thank you for watching. As I stuffed my face talking to him, I was like, oh my goodness, I feel like such a pig, but whatever. I was hungry. I was at a gas station, for crying out loud. So you don't have to be like all that in a bag of chips at the gas station, right? Not that I'm all that in a bag of chips anytime, but you know what I mean. So yeah, I was like stuffing my face, and then everybody was pretending they weren't eavesdropping on our whole conversation. But yeah, It was just really funny. So yeah, huge shout out to some new residents to Ocala. I don't think I got his name, unfortunately. But he knows who he was. There was only so many people that saw me today at Wawa eating mozzarella sticks, waiting for sandwiches to be made. So anyway, it was funny. I got a huge kick out of it. If you do actually happen to be around the area and you do run into me, please, for crying out loud, say hi. It's just the same as running into any other neighbor. I mean, it's just such a small town vibe around here. It really is just like, it's not that big deal. You are much more likely to run into like John Travolta than you can possibly imagine. I personally ran into him over at Starbucks and it was just like, okay. So yeah, he actually was taking pictures and stuff, and I didn't even have to ask. He actually just took my phone and did a selfie with me and my daughter. It was awesome. We left there, and I was like geeking out, and my my daughter was just like, "So is that somebody you work with?" And I'm like, "How many times have we watched Grease?" It was hilarious. Anyway, so yeah, things like that happen. I am definitely not on that level. He's like major A-list stuff. So but yeah, you are possibly going to run into John Travolta or like, his daughter or something around town. So totally, completely normal for these parts. So yeah, really cool. Let's see. Let's go ahead and pop on over to some of the houses I pulled up. I was really excited about that. Again, wish I could show you the houses, but you're going to have to just take my word for it. Let's do the market watch real quick. We'll get that out of the way so you can kind of see where we're at this week. This week was more of the norm that we've had for the last few months, basically. So we had 234 new listings. We had 63 price increases. We had 327 price decreases, y'all. Right back into the numbers, right? Actually, the price increase was what was weird because we had maybe like 20 or 30 per week, and this week we had 63. So there's actually quite a few people that went a little too low on their prices, and they had to actually increase, which I found fascinating. Back on the market, 56. We had 56. Sold 222. So that was actually up a little bit. So the new listings and the sold, both those numbers are up. Expired 60 expired listings in the last week, but I think that's a lot because of the end of the month. Normally people put their contracts to end at the end of the month. So it's actually kind of normal. It's a lot, but it's still normal for this time. Pending, we had 233 that went pending this week. Temporarily off the market, 17. That's probably from the holidays or something. I don't know. Withdrawn, 3, and canceled, 39. They're like, you know what? I'm just going to keep this house. Thank you so much. Or they had a realtor that had the plop and pray method instead of actually marketing and advertising a house, where you plop a sign in, pray it sells. Yeah. So there are still some of those out there. All right, but let's look at some of those new listings. And again, I wish I could show you pictures. I can't. You're just going to have to take my word for it. We're going to find, let's see, the first one is 67,500. The next one is 199. The next one, 179. The next one is 235. These are all the prices that we've been looking at lately. I mean, it's almost like prices have been reset to 2 years ago. It's kind of weird. Things that don't fall into that category are nicer, bigger, newer houses. Those are going to go still above the 300 range. But still, you can get a very decent house for around 200 to 250 right now, which is pre-pandemic prices, just to let you know. All right, so let's take one of these. I gotta surf through and see. Let me find a nice one. I don't know. I can't give you the address because I'm not listing it, so you're just gonna have to wing it. Meh. Oh, that one's a really nice one. That one I can actually give you the price on, but that's not what I'm looking for. Okay, here we go. So we have a house that was built now. This one is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, double-car garage. This is a cookie cutter house, okay? It is up for sale for $279,000. Now, I happen to know that we have houses for rent that have rented very close to this house. This is in Southwest Marion County. Okay. So we're going to use this as an example. This is brand new construction. It is total area 1,912 square feet, but that includes the garage. So we're going to use the living area, which is 1,465 square feet. Got all that? Any questions so far? Again, you can get a very nice house for around 200 to 250. This is a brand new construction house, okay? And some of the parts and pieces to this house, they paid extra for because that was still during the, I mean, this house didn't just plop, there it is. No, this house has, you know, they've had to pay for a little bit higher wood than what is up for sale right now. So hold on, let me check and see if there's any questions. No, okay, cool. I'll just make it a little smiley face. Hi. Okay, hopefully y'all can see that. All right, just like get the chat started. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and play with these numbers just because I love playing with this stuff. This is on a little over half an acre. Oh no, it's almost a full acre. Holy smokes. So it says it is freshly landscaped and move-in ready. This model sits on 0.95 acre lot. Features 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, open concept floor plan, stainless steel appliances, quartz countertops. That's different. Normally it's granite or laminate. Quartz countertops in the kitchen and bathrooms, and vinyl flooring throughout the main living areas, carpet in the bedrooms. It is actually not too far from the World Equestrian Center. It's about 10-15 minutes away from the World Equestrian Center. So yeah, very cool. Okay, so this is a very cute house, right? This is going for rent at $17.95 per month. Okay, so let's go ahead and play with that. $17.95 per month, if not more. That's what we've already leased some similar, very similar to this, almost identical to this, recently. So we're going to say $17.95 per month for rent. Now, what is the expense? How much does it cost to actually move into the house? Well, you have your security deposit. Normally you have your first month's rent as well as last month's rent. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and, oh, figures, I did not bring a fool. I didn't bring a calculator. Oh, y'all, you're going to have to help me with math. I'm going to have to like get out the little, carry the ones in a second. Hold on. Heaven help me. Don't panic. All right. Calculator app, Google. Okay. Well, that's embarrassing. All right. I know I have a calculator on my computer somewhere. Stupid Max. Okay. No, it says I have to download it. I don't have to download it. I have one. Everybody's like, okay, 3 times $17.95. Come on, somebody help me out here. 5,400. Thank you, Bob. Thank you. Why am I choosing to do this and not bring? I didn't even bring my cell phone in here. This is so sad. Wow. Okay, I might have to fix this. All right, so you got 5,400 plus non-refundable pet fees, which is normally around $250 to $300 per pet. So figure out how many pets you have in your, I don't know, in your moving. If they're even approved, because a lot of dog breeds are not approved because the owner of the house does not want to risk anything. So anyway, let's say you have 1 Chihuahua. So we're going to go ahead and add $250 to that. Normally there's an additional monthly fee, but we're not going to put that in. It's normally anywhere $25, $50, something like that. Okay, but we're not going to do that. We're going to be really careful on this. Very conservative numbers. There's also an application fee. Now, any company or owners or whatever, they can charge whatever they want for application fees. I've seen anything from $50 to $100 per application. Sometimes the second applicant is less, whatever. We're just going to say $50 per applicant, and that's adults. Kids don't fill out applications, just so you know. All right. So let's say there's going to be 2 adults living in the home. We're going to have, you know, the family of 2 adults, 2.5 kids, and the 0.5 is the Chihuahua. So we're going to go ahead and add an extra 100 for that. and there's not going to be any admin fees, key fees, or whatever lease fees or whatever in the world you want to charge. We're not going to do any of that. We're going to leave it very basic. So that brings it up to $5,750, $5,750 to move into this home, not including your utilities and moving and all that, because that would be the same as if you were doing sale or rental. Okay. That's what it costs. I'm not joking, to move into a rental. So we're going to say $5,750 if you have a Chihuahua. Then we're going to go over, and you guys can follow along. We're going to go over to Prime Lending, and just go over to Google, go to Prime Lending Mortgage Calculator. Theirs is my favorite just because it's like there's not a whole bunch of like ads and nonsense and stuff like that pops up. It is straight up just a calculator. I mean, they don't, it doesn't go into anything crazy land. It's straight up, there's a calculator. I love that. So you can see I'm kind of obsessed with calculators lately, but that's fine. All right, if you guys are all on there, the actual website is www.primeLending.com/calculators/mortgage-calculator. I don't know. Anyway, that's what we're going on. So if you're on that, it has some basic information already pulled up, but we're going to take this house and we're going to pop it in there. So home price, we're going to go to $279,000. And that is if you did absolutely no negotiating whatsoever. They're like, this is the house price. That's what it is. No, you do not pass go, do not any whatever. So we're going to go ahead and put in for the down payment. We're going to go up just a little bit because even though this house is eligible for USDA, we're not going to do that. We're going to do FHA. So USDA is zero money down. That's for rural development. That's not what's just posted on the beef that you go and buy. This is actually USDA is United States Department of Agriculture, and they actually have a loan program, a very successful loan program that is zero down for rural areas. Well, guess what? Ocala is rural areas. The city of Ocala itself is not, but the rest of Marion County, which is a large portion, all of Citrus County, all of Levy County. So basically you could drive for miles and miles and miles and hours actually and have rural development areas that are approved for USDA loans. So but we're not going to do that. We're not going to do zero down payment. We're going to go ahead and do FHA, which is 3.5%. And if you just put in the 3.5%, it goes ahead and puts that down payment at $9,765. Now, that is not that much different than your $5,750. You're like, it's a little expensive. But thankfully, if we go to this house, well, we'll do that in a minute. We're going to go over to the interest rate. I'll show you in a minute that. We're going to go over the interest rate, and we are going to put in 7.5%. But if you actually look over here at, what is the daily rate today? The daily rate for the national average interest rate. There we go. All I had to put is NAT, and I looked this up so much. Oh, wow. See, it's down to 7.095. Woohoo! All right. So it has actually come down a little bit. This, again, depends on your credit. It depends on what you're doing with your debt and your income and all of that. But the national average is 7% right now. Now, you can also, again, remember I said that negotiating thing? You could go, all right, Mr. Seller, I know you built this lovely house, but I want $5,000 to go towards buying down my rate. I need to buy down my points because the interest rates are really high. And if you want to sell that house right now, you're going to need to help me out. Most builders right now are, in fact, doing that. More than $5,000. In fact, if you bought D.R. Horton right now, you would get $10,000 off, towards your closing costs and an additional $5,000 in buying down points. And I believe Lennar over here is doing that too, but I'd have to verify. So that is something very normal. So let's say you didn't use that money all. Let's just say you are just doing it the way it is. You did not get any negotiation. If you did not get any negotiation whatsoever, you should fire your realtor. But let's say you at least got something. But, for this, we're going to go back over to Prime Lending, and we're going to go with 7.095 because that is what the interest rates are today. Annual property taxes, no, the thing is like $3,700. No, that's not accurate. I can't actually pull up the property taxes because the property taxes right now are based on that not being a house. It's on just the lot, so it's only like $300 a year. So that's not accurate. We're gonna go with like maybe 2,900, depending on if you homestead, if you don't homestead, if you're over 65, if you're a veteran, if you're a disabled veteran. If you're a disabled veteran, you're not gonna have taxes. Okay, and then the annual home insurance, 1350. Yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and leave that. All right, we're gonna go over to the right and we're gonna hit calculate. And with the PMI, which is $123, your property taxes, your home insurance, everything, it's $2,285. Guess how much the principal and interest payment is? $1,808. So if your rent is $1,795 plus or minus pet fees, and the actual interest payment and the principal payment for the house is $1,808, basically it's the property taxes, homeowners insurance, and PMI that's the difference. Now that PMI and the payment, again, that can be brought down either through negotiation through the lender or through the builder or home seller, depending, or you can go over to, or the realtor can go back over to this listing and they can click on, now I gotta find it. No, not that. Is it this one? No. That's rate plug. Where is the down payment assistance button? I'm doing really well right now. It doesn't have a rate. This one doesn't have it. But normally when you click on a house, it has this little thing called the DPA, and it has down payment assistance programs that work for that particular house. I don't know. It's probably because this one's like super, super new. It hasn't plugged in that. Let me check and see if I can do it on another one. It's like, oh, that's so helpful. Wait, no. Do you all of these brand new listings? It's not in there yet. It's like, let me have a minute to update. That's the rate plug. Watch, they just got rid of it because like none of the realtors were using it. No. I know I have it here somewhere. Nope. That's annoying. I should have had this pulled up ahead of time. Anyway. 234 listings. Let me see if I can go to that one. Go all the way to the end. There we go. Okay, so yeah, those are just basically too new. So anyway, it takes about a day for it to cycle through. What it pulled up was a shack in Umatilla. But I'm going to go ahead and pull up every single house once it's been on for about 24 hours. Goes ahead and has this button that you as a realtor can click, or any of your realtors can click, and it has how many programs. So this happens to be the one I clicked on, was a shack in Umatilla, and I'm not joking, it really is a shack. I'm not like downgrading the house. It really is a shack. But this has 20 programs and up to $50,000 in down payment help. And then all we have to do is slide through. So one of them was FHFC. Maximum benefit is $10,000. Can be used for down payment assistance and closing costs. Eligible veterans do not have to be a first-time home buyer. So this one is for first-time home buyers. Then there's, let's see. Oh my goodness, there's so many. CBC Mortgage Chenoa Fund, CHENOA Fund. This one I've definitely heard of many, many times. It's FHA repayable down payment assistance, up to 5% of the purchase price. The benefits assistance up to 5% of the sales price or appraised value, whichever is lower. There is no income limits on this. It can be a high, let's see, high price mortgage loan transactions are allowed as long as PV and TRID requirements are met, which of course. Manual underwriting is permitted. What is manual underwriting? Sometimes things have to be done manually. Like, let's say if you're following the Dave Ramsey program and you have no credit score, which is his goal for everybody out there. No credit score does not necessarily mean you have bad credit. It means you have no credit. So they have to check and see other things like your utility bills. Are those paid on time? Your rent, have you paid that on time for forever and a day? Stuff like that. So they'll manually underwrite. They'll manually go in and pull other things to check. If you're self-employed, oh, heaven help you. If you're self-employed, like all realtors are, that's the kind of things that we have to do is have manual underwriting because we work for ourselves, kind of. So just stuff like that. There's other Marion County Community Services Purchase Assistance Program, SHIP, maximum amount $50,000. Provides down payment and closing cost assistance to people meeting eligibility criteria of this, up to $50,000 in assistance for low-income borrowers. Amount of assistance is based on household income and need. There's also, I don't know, it just goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. So there's a lot of different programs out there. They don't have any programs for rent that I've seen. I've heard of them out there. Sometimes we'll receive a rent check from some random, but aside from maybe Ocala Housing Authority and HUD, it's also considered Section 8, there's not a lot of assistance with rent. But there is a lot of stuff that you can do if you're purchasing a home. So going into that, you can get a much higher down payment and your closing costs covered for that. Can you imagine? $5,750. You have to do that if you're renting. Whereas if you're buying, it's covered. There's down payment assistance programs for this. Or not doing down payment at all, like with USDA. Why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you do that? It just drives me nuts. So yeah, everybody's like, I don't know, with the higher interest rates, I'm just going to go ahead and wait. I'm not going to purchase right now. The house prices have dropped. Okay. It's kind of, yeah, I would say look at your own finances. I am not a financial guide at all. I would be a terrible financial guide. I was like, is there a shoe sale? But I will say, check your own finance. If it is possible to purchase and you're just waiting to play the market, that is not a good idea. That is not a good idea. $1,800 a month for that same house you're going to pay to that investor that purchased the house. You will be paying their mortgage because I guarantee that their mortgage is tied up into that. They're banking on the fact you're paying their mortgage. And they win. Like the house always wins. So yeah, for me personally, if you have the choice of renting versus buying, and you're like, let's check and see what happens with the market, it's gonna go up. Stop it! Oh my goodness, stop. Let's see. Let me check and see. Hello, Heather. There are not strict rules for USDA. No, actually, it's not that much different than FHA. I think there's a lot of misconceptions with USDA, though. It does go by area, but again, most of our county actually does qualify for that. But you can go on to USDA.gov, I believe. Hold on. You can actually check the eligibility map right on there. I'm gonna check and see. rd.usda.gov. Yeah. So I'm gonna pick a state. It has to be for your own personal house. I do know that. You can't do USDA for like if you're trying to be an investor. That's not going to work. But you can actually go in there and see what the income limits are, the income eligibility. It's pretty high. Let's say we're going to go ahead and type right in. Let's say you've got a family of 4, because although kids don't count for income, they definitely count for outgo. I don't know about yours, but mine are expensive. Let's see. We're going to say 2 of those are students. If they are minors, that would be. And we're going to say nobody is. Oh my goodness. It wants to go all into this. I am not going to fill out an application for y'all. But it does go into eligibility. Feel free to go in there and check for yourselves. Or even better, check with the loan officer, because the loan officers that I know, they will go into oblivion. They know exactly what the requirements are for all of the different loans. Okay, not just USDA, which is my personal favorite, not just FHA, not just VA, and not just conventional. In fact, actually, some conventional loans you can get at 3.5%, and sometimes that actually might be better for you. It just depends on the situation, your personal situation. I don't know. I didn't pull your credit. I don't want to pull your credit. I don't want to know anything about it. It's okay. I don't need to know that. I'm the one that gets to go shopping. I'm like your own personal shopper. That's what your realtor is. We get to open the doors for you. We get to check out like the rooms and all that stuff. Your credit and how to get the best deal on the loan, that goes through the loan officer, mortgage broker, whatever you want to call them. But there's some really good ones out there. I've sat down with somebody before. She was like super nervous to go to the loan officer. She's just like, oh my God, they're going to tell me no. They're going to tell me no. They're going to tell me no. And she was like self-denying herself. She's like, I know I'm not going to get this loan. Guess what? She got approved for a loan. She's living in the 4-bedroom house of her dreams. And she got it. The loan officer sat down with her and was like, okay, looking at your credit cards, if you pay $124 on this one within the next 60 days and $68 on this one within the next 30 days, your debt to income will be perfect and you should be good to go. And she's just like, wait, that's it? And she's like, yeah, that's it. That's all you got to do. She's like, I could do that next week. Okay, well then do it next week. Like, just do it. Like, what are you doing? So it was just, if you have a loan officer that does that kind of stuff, they'll also be like, okay, with your income and the programs available, I would suggest this one with this down payment assistant program. Okay. And then they'll talk to us as realtors and go, okay, here's what she needs. Here's what the contract needs to say. And we're good to go. And we're like, okay, cool. We got this. How much time do you need in order to close this deal? 45 days. Okay. I'll make sure and write the contract at 45 days. And that's how the deals are done, because it's like, okay, well, we know in order to get to the closing table and to give this person the keys, we have to work with the loan officer. We have to work with what you're approved for. Super, super easy. Did house prices drop in 55 and over? Yes, all of them. They have all dropped. All the house prices have dropped in all parameters. 55 plus was already a little bit lower than everyone else just because their buying pool is so much smaller. When you can't sell to anybody under the age of 55 or even over 55 if they have kids. So like my husband is over 55, so we could in fact live at a 55 plus, except I brought our daughter to the marriage and she is 14 right now. So even if he qualifies for it, he's out of the buying pool. See what I'm saying? So only one person in the household has to be over 55, but nobody in the household can be under 18. That's the rules. I do have a conventional right now, but is looking to relocate and not sure what I will qualify for. That is the perfect thing to take to a loan officer. As next week, I'm going to see if I can get a loan officer on here with me. Would you guys like that? Would you like to talk to one of them and just like shoot them some questions? Because then it's not scary. I promise they are not scary people. Everybody's so worried about talking to them though. So it's like, I'll just drag one in here. I am good friends with a whole slew of them. I'll be like, you're coming in here on Monday night. Debbie's a night owl. Anyway, I can get Debbie over here from that company with the calculator. Yes. Okay. I promise it's not scary. I've never heard them say no before. Never. They don't say no. They'll say not yet, or here's what I would recommend you do within the next 30 days. And then you're good. Or, okay, you just filed bankruptcy. We might need to wait a little on this, but here's what you can do to get you to that point. They're awesome. They will handhold you so much more than I could ever even attempt to try. They're really great. So I'll bug Debbie and see if she'll do it next week. If not, oh my goodness, Deanna is awesome. Daniel, I mean, it's all D names with my loan officers. What's up with that? But there's a whole slew of them that I just absolutely love working with, and they're so much fun. So yeah, I'll bring one of them on here. Why would a lender tell me that I don't qualify for USDA? But when I spoke to USDA directly, they said I would. My income clearly shows that I'm within the income limit. Melly, did your lender that you talked to, are they in a bigger city? Because if you talk to a lender in Miami, for example, or Orlando, they would have no freaking clue how to do USDA. Here, it is so completely normal. I would say huge percentage of their loans are going to be USDA. Literally huge percentage because it's such a rural area. But if you go to a lender that has no concept of rural development or USDA or how to do the loans or what the eligibility is or anything like that, that's not a good plan. That's really not. that's not a, maybe it's somebody around here that's just new. I don't know, but you should qualify for it. Just be very, very careful of who your lender is that you're going to work with. If it's somebody I recommend, they do VA, FHA, USDA all day long. They know conventional inside and out. They know jumbo loans. They know rehab loans. They know all of this stuff. Normally, the people I recommend have anywhere between 15 and 30 years experience, or they don't make the cut. Because I need them to help with, they've seen everything at this point, so they can really help my customers. To be like, back in 2002, I had this exact same thing, and this is how we got through it. Okay, that's what I need to know. I don't want you to be their story. So yeah, are new home builders lowering their prices in Ocala? Yes, absolutely. They started up the red tag sales again. They started up dropping their prices like crazy, offering crazy incentives. They have not quite slowed down their builds as far as I can tell. So they are still building, which is good because they already own the land, might as well build on it. Not quite at the frenzied pace before, but not really slowed down. Like I haven't seen them there's always tractors moving and, stuff being done on their properties with new construction. I think that's really going to be the next step if people are still not comfortable buying, or if we go up on the interest rates again. I think the new construction will slow down, if not stop. And I don't think that's what the government is attempting to do with this. I think because then we're going to have layoffs and stuff like that. So that's going the opposite direction. We don't want to go that direction, but lowering the prices and giving incentives so that especially new home buyers and first-time home buyers and maybe lower income families and stuff can still be in the market. Because otherwise, like my kids, by the time they go to purchase a house, they are not going to be able to. I am really sincerely worried about them ever being able to purchase a home. That's not good. Because in the next 5 to 10 years, I think things are going to change drastically. So yeah, that worries me a little, because my husband and I have, taken steps to make sure that they're okay. But at the same time, they should be able to purchase a home, right? That's the American dream. That's what this is all about. So, yeah, right now, at the moment, yeah, the new home builders are offering incentives like crazy and reducing their prices. Is it because USDA guaranteed has different rules than USDA direct? I don't believe so. I don't believe so at all. But if you will save that question for 1 week, I will have a lender in here who can go into that in detail. Or nope, here in Ocala. Nelly, was it really? Okay, we'll have a lender. Or just call me. Hold on. It is. I have this laptop up on a stand. Sorry, it's like wiggling, but I'm trying to type. There we go. All right, email me. That looks like a question I can answer as early as tomorrow. So, yeah, just send me an email and we'll see if we can get that answer because something doesn't sound right with that at all. Maybe I'm just okay. Not a huge fan of USDA going direct through them. I I had somebody and this was a while ago, so I will give it that. I would say this was maybe 3 years ago. Okay, so about 3 years ago, somebody came in. Yeah, you don't want to be one of the stories. Um, he came in and he's like, "Hey, I got approved for a USDA loan, and I want to purchase a home. Can you help me out?" Okay, sure, not a problem. Well, he had gone direct through USDA. There is a office here in Ocala for USDA. It's over on 36, I think. Anyway, but yeah, he went over there, he filled out the application, he got approved. Okay. It's like, okay, cool, no problem. At the same time, I had somebody that went through a loan officer for a USDA loan, and they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna need 45 days." I'm like, okay, cool, whatever works. Okay. So, I referred them to somebody, they got approved. Okay. So we had two people, equal time frames, like within a week of each other, that were getting USDA loans. This man had already been going through the process for 7 months, and his was super easy. Okay. 7 months of turning in paperwork every 30 days. It was so sad. I was like, why? Why would it take 7 months for that? That is insanity. This 45 days we were closed. This took 3 months of my life I will never get back. I was like, there was nobody to talk to, nobody that cared. They were not so like this one. Loan officers are paid on commission. They need to get that thing closed. Okay. They are on a time block. This is government employees. They could not care less when it closes. If it closes, it's just more paperwork for them. Very different avenue of there was very different incentives involved with these. This one got closed in under 45 days. Actually, this one took an additional 3 months. So it was almost a year-long process for him to go through the USDA. That was my personal experience with it. I was like, I will never send somebody to that office ever. Because it was just, wow. It was so incredibly different. And we were able to get both of them closed. This was painful. His was painful to get closed because there was no communication whatsoever. And, like I said before, if we're working with the lender, we'll be like, okay, what do you need? What needs to be on the contract? Blah, 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 blah. And we just go ahead. Okay, we need this. Okay, no problem. I can go over to their office. Okay, let's chat about it. This one, it was somebody in Timbuktu on the phone only. We would fill out the paperwork. They then not hear anything for forever. We're like, okay, do you need something? What's the status? Blah, blah, blah. Nothing, nothing, nothing. And then they come back with, oh, you filled that out wrong. We need something completely different. We don't read minds. What do you want from us? So yeah, we did eventually get it closed though. It was just a really different experience. It was painful. Thomas asks, what is the price range for a new 3-2 in Ocala, large community and random lot build? That is a really good question. Okay. 300 to 350. It really just depends. When you say large community, that can mean a lot of different things. Like if you're talking like DR Horton and maybe, I don't know, what do they have? 500 houses in one of their communities. I think that's a pretty large community, but for other people, they're like, oh, if you're looking at like Kalesa, that's tiny. Kalesa is building like 5,000 houses, I think. So that's huge. If you look at, just different stuff. So it just depends on what you want. If you want like several clubhouses, if you want 22 miles of walking trail, it's just a little different. Those are both all ages communities, but one is massive. But I still think the price range, if you're looking for an average cookie cutter 3-2 new build home, you're going to be around 300 to 350 will get you a decent house. And that's not counting all the incentives and stuff, like I said, that they're doing. That's the sales price of it. No negotiation. Negotiation is strong right now. There was absolutely no negotiation for the last couple of years. And now all of a sudden, we got to dust off those skills and remember that the price that's listed is not necessarily the price you get away with. Because when you walk away, it might be $20,000, $30,000 under that. It's crazy. So, and that's happening a lot because the sellers are seeing the prices drop like crazy. They don't want to do price drops. They want to get that house off of them like now because they'll get the most money possible now. They don't know what's going to happen 6 months or a year from now. So they're like, nope, it's got to go. It's got to go for now. If you need $10,000, we're going to give you $10,000. Recently, we had an owner that did a new roof. He did a new AC. He did any and all repairs and whatever they wanted. He's like, yes, absolutely. He just did all of it. And they're like, don't you want us to negotiate for you a little bit? Like a little? And he's just like, nope, that's what they want. That's what they get. I'm like, okay, didn't get to dust off my skills for that one, but okay, whatever. So it depends on the sellers, but they're looking at it going, no, we want to go ahead and sell for what we can right now. Is it possible to have both USDA approvals, one from loan officer and one from them directly? You can have as many approvals as you want. Some people don't realize that you can go mortgage shopping. In fact, I would recommend you go mortgage shopping. The mortgage lenders I work with or recommend you go mortgage shopping. Sometimes they're the highest, sometimes they're the lowest. It just depends on who the underwriters are or whatever, or who the investors are. But it's the same thing when you go shopping for a car. Before you go shopping for a car, go shopping for the car loan. So for us, we found out our credit union was not the least expensive place to have a car loan. It was actually a different credit union. So we became members of a different credit union just to have a much better car loan payment for my Prius. I personally hate having a car loan. My husband actually thinks it's really awesome for our credit, and he raised my credit score like 100 points. So I guess I'm going to go with whatever he says. For me, I'm like, just pay cash. But apparently you do have to have credit in the United States. So Dave Ramsey might be a little off on that one. Anyway, we'll leave that alone. But yeah, you can go shopping for a car loan payment for the actual loan portion of it. And that's actually more important than the car itself, like the car purchase price at times. Make sure they don't add anything on that, but whatever. They keep adding these weird stuff onto cars. Have you noticed that? Like undercoating. I don't care about undercoating. You're gonna I have to pay you to change the oil and stuff. Like weird. Anyway, I'm gonna get a totally different soapbox. Anyway, but they do have for loans for your house. Yes, you will want to go and check out a lot of different loans and different lenders. Okay, because all lenders are not the same. If you go over to Prime Lending, for example, she's going to give you everything that she has available. But what if you go over to Guaranteed Rate, for example, and they have other options, or they have a less expensive way to do what you want to get away with? Check both. Definitely check both. It doesn't affect your credit if you check multiple places for a mortgage. What will affect your credit is if you are checking different types of credit, different things. So if you're going shopping for a house and a car at the same time, that is going to hit you. If you add a credit card at the same time with that you might as well just kiss off 100 points. Just don't do that. Shop for one thing at a time, okay? If you're going to make, especially if you're making a bigger purchase, okay? But yeah, yes, you can definitely get multiple approvals. Definitely. Thanks. And how about a new build on your own lot? Whew. That's my favorite kind. I love that. It is extensive. You better be ready to wait. It takes some time. The builder recently, my boy Jeff Baker, he actually just uploaded a YouTube video of his finalization of his custom pool home that he put on a lot that I sold to him back in the day. And yeah, he built the house and he had the pool put in, and he's absolutely ecstatic. He just got to move in like a couple weeks ago. But they told him it would be 8 to 12 months. I guessed 12 to 18. And it was almost exactly 18 months. I mean, it took every bit, if not more, to have the house finished. And a lot of it wasn't the builder. It was waiting on Seco to connect the electricity. Seco is like super way behind right now. Seco is, Sumter Electric Cooperative. So it's the electric company. They are really backed up because they cover Southwest Ocala primarily. And that's where a large percentage of the new construction is going in. So they are behind considerably. So yeah, be prepared for a wait. What we did is in most of our houses and properties that we manage in property management, we have an agreement with our owners where if we sell, like if one of our tenants actually buys a home through us, if we're the buyer's agent, we will get the owner a new tenant and not charge them a commission. And that allows our tenants to break their lease. They still have to leave the house clean. They still, obviously we have plenty of notice because we're right there on the sales contract. We know exactly when they're moving out. We do pre-showings. So before the tenants move out, we go ahead and, show the house to the next tenants. So normally as soon as the one tenant's moving out, the new tenant's moving in. So the owners don't really feel much of a change at all. So we're able to go ahead and do that. It's really cool. Our tenants like it. Our owners like it. What we were finding was a lot of our tenants were buying a house and breaking their lease anyway. And I'm like, well, if they're going to do that, I mean, we might as well get the sale for it and work with the owners on it. And then the owners will actually have a much smoother transition. They will actually have, tenants in there and they're not going to feel it because we're not going to charge them a commission for finding a new tenant. Anyway, so we did that. We worked that out. It's actually a program that we have for our tenants. So a lot of our tenants will move in to our properties knowing that they're building a house. And then whenever that house is complete, then they just go ahead and move in. They move into our rental properties specifically because they have no idea when their house is going to be finished. And we don't know either. So we work with them and we wait and we, work all together with it. And so, yeah, it just kind of works pretty well for us. But yeah, that works that works. But yeah, it's going to take you, depending on the size of the house too, because Jeff did a pretty good size house. But yeah, depending on the size of the house, it's going to take you right around a year at this point. I think he had a delay because of the windows and the lack thereof. That delayed things because they couldn't work on the inside unless the inside was like closed off and without windows. Yeah. So there were some delays. But it wasn't stuff that the builder could do anything about. It was like, well, we can't get windows for 3 months. They're like back ordered into oblivion. Or they couldn't get electricity. And there was a lot of stuff that they really needed electricity in order to complete the house. So yeah, kind of interesting. As far as if it's less expensive, it can be. It's not normally because of all of the custom things that you do. Um, for like DR Horton, they're gonna buy like 1,000 cabinets that are all the same. You don't get to choose the size of the cabinets. You don't get to choose much of anything. There's like 6 different colors you can choose from, and that's about it. They have thousands and thousands of houses throughout the United States that they're building at any given time. So they have a bulk discount. There is no way that you're going to have a custom built home when you only want one particular kind of cabinets and one particular color of cabinets, and you're going to basically special order those. That there's no way you're going to have the same price, you know. um so yeah, it is all cabinets, but do you want pressed wood? Do you want real wood? I would go with real wood, just saying. What kind of flooring do you want? You know, they're not going to have that bulk rate discount because they're not doing bulk. You're not going to get the same color as everybody else. You're not going to get the, because it's your house. It's custom. That's the whole point of custom, is you get your house custom made to you and what you want. But there's normally a cost to that. And the cost is you don't get the bulk rate discount that you would get at a larger spec built builder would get. There's actually one builder in town that you don't get any choice whatsoever at all whatsoever. The color is all the same. All of their houses, same color cabinets, same color carpet. Everything is like a dark brown. I'm like, why did you choose dark brown? But it's like dark brown. That's it. There is no other choice. You want to change anything, change it after you buy it. All of the houses are exactly the same, but that's what they do. They literally have 3 models of their home. So even though they're a much smaller builder, because they're not doing anything custom whatsoever, they know, okay, we're going to build 12 houses because that's how many lots we have over here. We're going to have, 3 of each kind of whatever. And those are the houses we're going to build. We're going to get bulk, basically. It's like a smaller bulk purchase, but it's still a bulk purchase, and they're just gonna, that's it. They're all the same kitchen, all the same bathrooms, cabinets, the same everything. And so yeah, they don't do anything custom at all whatsoever. At least with like DR Horton and Lennar, you have a little bit of an option. Them, no, it is exactly what it is. You can go into any of their houses and you'll be like, that's the kitchen. That will be the kitchen. And they're like, you haven't even started on my house yet. It does not matter. That is going to be the kitchen. Because they don't make any changes. All of the houses are exactly identical, no matter where it is in the county that they've decided to build it. So kind of interesting. I would say their name, but I'm not going to. But their houses are less expensive by far. It's a really good build, but their houses are less expensive. They just, you better like brown. Whatever. It's crazy. It's just some craziness. But, if you want a pretty decent house for, 250, 275, as long as you didn't get to pick out the cabinets and stuff, but, you get a pretty decent house. Later on, if you decide that you want to change the color of the cabinets, go for it. Knock yourself out. You want to put in new flooring. Okay, go for it. But then at least the cost is shifted a little. As long as you like the floor plan, you are golden because the floor plan ain't going to change. Not much. But the rest of it, they're all pretty open anyway at this point. But yeah, if you can especially find a floor plan that you like, that you would use as a custom, and then find a bulk spec builder that has pretty much that same floor plan, anything else, it's just paint and flooring. It's not, I don't know. Maybe I'm jaded at this point. Once you've seen one house, no, it's not. There are differences. There's changes. I know. But we've done, oh man, a couple of years ago, I stopped counting at 123. We've done over 100 flips. And yeah. So when I go into a house, I'm just like, okay, this needs to change. This needs to change. That needs to change. And it's probably going to be around this price. Once you've done it enough times, So yeah, that's actually what I'm going to be looking at tomorrow with an investor in his GC. We're going to go look through a whole slew of houses that he's buying in bulk to figure out what needs to be done and what he wants to do with them. He might be keeping them, he might be selling them. I don't know. So I guess I'm going for an opinion. It's a good thing I have lots of opinions. But yeah, some people actually want to hear them. So yeah, we're gonna go look at a whole slew of houses all over the place. So thankfully I'm not driving, so I hate driving. Zephyr? I don't know what Zephyr is. I don't know. No, don't know what Zephyr is. Sorry. I don't know. Anyway. Oh, but yeah, we're gonna be going out and doing that. So it should be interesting. But yeah, paint, flooring, anything like that, even kitchens at this point, it's just not that big a deal to me as far as changing stuff out and doing flips and stuff. And we are starting to see flips hit the market again. That was exciting. I miss those. New construction is fun, but it's kind of boring. The houses all look pretty much the same to me. So I like the old houses that have a little bit more character, and that you can like that, especially when they're like really ugly, but they've got really good bones and you could make them beautiful. I feel like such a huge sense of accomplishment from that. So I really love that. That's where my passion is. It's not for everybody. And normally, especially first time home buyers, they'll go in and they'll be like, oh, yeah, let's do a fixer upper. We can do this. I love watching HGTV. And then you take them into the first house that smells so badly of cat pee that, their eyes are like watering and they're cheering up. And I'm like, smells like money. And they're like, this is not what we meant. Oh, they just gone. Oh, maybe it's just me. Any new 55 over golf communities coming? That is a great question. Let me think. Yes, there is one. I believe Lennar purchased it. It is up kind of by Kalesa. That one is coming in. So Southwest Ocala, which, by the way, if you're doing 55 plus, that is really a great location to look into, especially if you don't want to do like on top of their world and all of their very expensive HOA fees. Finding a smaller 55 plus development that's close to it, but not quite it. So that one probably would be the one I would keep an eye on. What are my favorite builders? Oh my goodness, there's so many. Custom, Triple Crown, 100%. And tell them I sent you. If you just go to them, then I don't get anything. For crying out loud, tell them I told you to go to them. For crying out loud. Otherwise, I am no help to you whatsoever because they won't tell me anything. Anyway, but yeah, Triple Crown, I love their houses. Love their houses. 10 years, 20 years after the house is built, I can walk in and go, oh, this is a Triple Crown home. You can just feel how they actually took care to do a good job. That is huge. If you can do that over the long haul and really have a good built home where they actually took pride in their work, that is huge. That is absolutely huge. And I love some of the custom things that they do. Like I'll call them up and be like, hey, they need a mother-in-law suite on this. And they'll be like, yeah, no problem. You want it on the east side of the house or the west side of the house? I'll slap it on there for you. And I'm like, awesome. So yeah, they'll do like a little mother-in-law suite and they don't even charge that much for it, but it's pretty cool. So, I love how they can do that. Or, instead of doing a small shower, I'm like, I want the whole back wall to be a shower. And they'll be like, gotcha. So just stuff like that, have you ever had a 10-foot shower before? It's pretty cool. So I love them for custom. They're a small family-owned local builder that is very well known around here. But they just do a really good job. What other builders? The one, I hope they don't get mad about their brown, but I'm sure they've heard about it before. The one I was talking about earlier where they have all of the brown kitchens and the brown carpeting and the brown, but you can get it for a pretty decent price. That's World Corp. I do actually like their builds. If there is somebody that I don't like their build, I will never mention them on this channel. I won't out and out say I don't like them. I will tell you face to face, but I won't put it on the channel. I'm not going to out another company. Being a small business owner myself, I don't like the cancel culture thing. So I'm not going to do that. But if you as my customer call me and say, hey, what about this builder? That's a different story. I'll be like, do not even attempt. Don't even walk in that place. It's not safe. Uh, that's different. There are builders that I will absolutely not sell at any point. Just, I won't. I don't believe in their product. I don't like the way they build. Just don't. So I won't even mention them on here. But yeah. Love listening to you. Building new, 12 months later, almost in. Yay! So about 12 months, right? Be prepared for that. Our interest rates trending now. They are at just over 7%. That's what we were looking at earlier. So yeah, about 7%. So they are lower right now, which is great. So we'll probably have a busy week. Need that. Thomas, go ahead and World Corp. Thomas, just go ahead and send me an email. I put it in the comments, my email in there before. Send me an email and we will connect and I will get you set up with whatever you personally need. But yeah, there's some builders I absolutely will warn you not to go to because I don't like them. So my husband has told me it lately. Lately, I've been listening to him that I'm not allowed to go to any more construction sites because I picked up like 3 nails in my tire in like 3 weeks, and he was so mad. Excuse me, I blow my nose. Hold on. But yeah, so I was going to a whole bunch of different construction sites. I love looking at a house prior to drywall. You can tell so much about the builder prior to drywall. Once the drywall's on, it's a little harder. Excuse me, 1 second. Hold on. Oh, I don't know why, but my nose started running in here. Sorry about that. Wow. So rude. Anyway, what else? Do you need a permit to extend your back uncovered patio in Marion Oaks? I do not believe so. And I even got a guy that will do it. If you want a name of somebody that will do it for fairly inexpensive, let me know and I will send that over to you. I have a guy for pretty much anything because we do property management. So we have about 250 houses and properties. I can't say just houses. We do apartment complexes too, but we have 250 doors, give or take. So pretty much I know a guy at Marion County for pretty much anything. The good, the bad, the awful, all of that. So yeah, just let me know and I'll send you over their information. Somebody asked me today, do you have a tree guy? And I'm like, yes, of course we have a tree guy. We have them on call. There's a lot of trees. 250 doors, that's a lot of trees. Let's see. Have you heard of any new construction on the corner of 484 and 200 towards Nellen? No, actually, no, not right there. Further down 484, yes, there is, of course, that subdivision from D.R. Horton. That was actually supposed to be a rental subdivision, and they've now decided to go ahead and sell those units, which is kind of an odd decision, I think, right now, but whatever. So those units are actually going up for sale. We are supposed to be going out there on Tuesday of next week. Excuse me. We're going to be checking those out. So that's exciting. I think it's called Huntington. I don't know, something like that. So you're welcome, Chris. So yeah, there's a whole slew of houses going in there. But right on the corner, no, that corner is kind of weird. Have you ever noticed? There's like that odd gas station right there. There's an ice cream parlor that's trying, bless their hearts. They're just down the road. So if anybody's over there, please go to that ice cream parlor because I want to make sure they make it. It's just a small little mom and pop shop kind of place that just opened not too long ago. But it's a really odd location. There's just not really really that much right there. Like you have to go up a little, and then there's like the Walmart and there's, the restaurants and stuff like that. But that corner of 244 is just, it's kind of like the beginning of Citrus County or something. I don't know. It's not. The Citrus County line is actually down by the river, but that whole section right there is just kind of odd. But yeah, going into 44, yeah, there's definitely a lot going on, a lot of housing and stuff. I really wish they would just stop all construction until they get that road fixed. Because the traffic at 484 and 75 is ridiculous, like absolutely ridiculous. We avoid it at all costs in the morning. They are making the road a lot bigger on 49th to help with that. And so that's going to be a lot of construction. I live just north of Marion Oaks on the other side of the trail, basically. So I'm really looking forward to that road getting bigger because they're putting in this really cool sidewalk that's like big, asphalt. You can go literally for miles and miles and miles, and it'll help so that my kids can actually go down to the 49th trailhead without driving on 49th, which they're not allowed to do. So I'm really excited about this. I'm like, yes, we're going to have a bike path / sidewalk thing. So it's really going to help with getting over to the 49th trailhead. It's going to allow people to have a lot more exercise that they can get outdoors without having to deal with traffic. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm more excited about the sidewalk bike path thing than the road itself. But the road itself does need to get widened because we've really got to get traffic off of 44 and 75. It is ridiculous. It really is bad. I found something online from last week. A company, RMC, is trying to build a gas station and 3 other restaurant drive-thrus. Holy smokes, you know more than I do. RMC. Now, just because they're trying to build it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to get to build it. If somebody, I swear, if we get more gas stations, dollar stores, and car washes around here, I think I'm going to have to talk to Marion County commissioners. Like, they have got to stop with the car washes, okay? You can car wash at every block, right? Have you guys noticed? It's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. It's like car wash central right now. Oops. And there's my daughter again because she apparently forgot it's Monday. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. Jason, if you can send me that, I would love to look at it. I have not heard anything about it. But I didn't go, I don't think I went to the last planning meeting. So I was on vacation. So I know that's no excuse because they have it online, but I didn't really want to do anything. No, I try and keep up with it though. So maybe you know something I don't know. Also, if there is a reasonable company for vinyl plank, that would be awesome too. We are building in Ocala, and you and your team are awesome. Thank you so much for the information. You are so welcome, Chris. For vinyl plank, I normally go to Georgia Floors Direct. Ask for Anthony. He's awesome. And if you mention my company, he'll probably give you our 10% discount. So just a heads up on that. Vinyl plank, I love vinyl plank, but it has gotten so popular that it has gotten expensive. And we have, it is less expensive to install and it's a lot faster to install. But I think tile is actually not that expensive in comparison. I mean, because vinyl plank is just a good quality vinyl plank. If you just get like the stuff at Lowe's that's like paper thin, it doesn't last very long, then yeah, it's cheaper. But if you get, the decent vinyl plank, that stuff it's getting expensive. It's right up there with tile. And when you look at the cost of tile with grout and thin set and labor, it's actually not that much different. It's only maybe depending on what tile you go with. Okay. If you're going to go with the bougie, like marble tile or something, okay, that's not what we're talking about here. But just an average price for tile, it's actually right around the same cost. So I would look into tile, especially you can do like the long wood grain tile. You can do, there's a lot of different stuff that you can do. There's a lot of different opportunities for tile. And I think I know tile is much longer lasting I know that. I mean, yes, vinyl plank is awesome. I love it. Um, and yes, it's water resistant. But if the house floods, that stuff's coming up. It's gonna have to, because the water gets underneath, and that's not good to have sitting stagnant water. It's not a good plan at all. That doesn't happen with tile. So yeah, for me, I'm still pro tile all the way. But if you are set with the vinyl plank, there is somebody that I would recommend to install that. There's also somebody I would recommend to install tile. So whatever floats your boat, send me an email. I'll get you some names. They're really good at it. Georgia Flooring Direct, they actually have different guys that they recommend as well that will come out and do it for you as well. So just heads up on that. I like Georgia Flooring Direct. They're over on, I don't know, they're kind of over by Pine, like on the side of the overpass. I don't know. They're pretty good. For tile, we like Trinity Tile, and we like Floor and Decor. Yeah, it's up in Gainesville, but they deliver down here, of course, for a charge. But we just went there. We were in Sarasota on vacation, so of course we went to the tile flooring store. My husband's obsessed. And yeah, so they actually have some really good prices in there for some decent tile. So it's so fun to look at all the different colors. It's this massive like warehouse of a place with bazillion different kinds of tile and mosaics, and I don't know, it's just fun. I have a weird idea of fun, I guess. Jason, did you say that they are developing down 484? Well, toward Dornellen, excuse me, no, it's the other way. I don't know what's up with my allergies all of a sudden. It's actually the other way. It's going more around the curve, going into Marion Oaks, I guess, but it's not quite into Marion Oaks. So no, it's the other direction is where DR Horton is. Now, that being said, if you go 484 going towards Denellen, did you see that fancy fencing, that wood fencing that there was put up down by the springs, down by the Rainbow River? Okay, so that is all owned by Gissy, actually. And he actually has his own spring called the Gissy Spring right over there. And he actually got approved to build a slew of houses and duplexes and all sorts of stuff there. So that is really slow moving because I had a lot of people that wanted to buy the duplexes from him, and they're like, the fence is done, but the houses are not. So, but that is the plan for that. So that whole area where there's that wood fencing, that's actually going to be a housing development, I believe. So kind of interesting there. Oh, I saw that. See, yeah, that's going to be houses. So yes, going down 484 towards Denellen, there is actually more development going to be over there. There's a lot of stuff being done up on 140th. If you go up 44, 140th, take a right, that whole section right there of Rolling Hills and Rolling Ranch Estates, I think is over there. Rolling Hills, there's a lot of houses. There's probably 100 houses under construction. You can't see them because there's so many freaking trees, but there's a lot of houses being built over in that area. A lot of custom homes. No mobile homes are allowed. It all has to be site built. But there's a lot of houses being built in there, individual independent owners, but even I think Triple Crown is building over there as well. So yeah, huge. What is the benefit of your builder putting the septic tank in the backyard instead of the front? It does not matter at all. I think the only benefit to that, I would think, is the well is kind of ugly. Septic is underground, so you don't really see any of that. And then the little tiny bit of pipe that comes up, you can put a bush in front of that. You can totally hide it. So I would put the hidden stuff in front. If you put it in the back, that means that the well has to come to the front. The well is a big old bladder tank, and it's not any prettier than what it sounds. So you can build like a little well house or something like that, but you got to do something because it's ugly. It's just a bunch of pipes and stuff just hanging out there in the yard. So for me, I would stick the well in the back and the septic in the front, but that's just personal opinion. If you want to do something decorative with the well, I've seen all manner of stuff. One person actually did this massive fake rock and put it over top of the thing. Um, it didn't make it any prettier. I actually think it looked worse. Uh, to each their own. But if it's out in the backyard, I mean, you can kind of put it behind the shed or something. You know, it blends in with the back. It's not a big deal. In the front yard, I think it's just kind of an eyesore. But so I would say septic in the front and that in the back. However, your grass over top of your septic field will be very green and lush, so people will know where you do your business. If you water your lawn year round, that will not be a problem. If you do not choose to do that, come January, February, all of your grass will be brown, except for this one area. Yeah. Oh, what else? Oh, what do lots cost in Rolling Hills? Around, I believe they're around 30,000. You want me to check real quick? I love Rolling Hills. Rolling Hills lots are around an acre. So let's do, since I'm already logged into MLS, might as well answer that question right away, right? Active Rolling Hills. I'll try that. Okay. We have 98 lots available over there. Their starting price is 25,000 and it goes up from there. The most expensive one is 79,900. Some of them, they're all going to be at least 1 acre, or just slightly under, like 0.98 or whatever. But some of them are bigger. Let's see, like this one says 2.14 acres. So this is 75,000. So yeah, I would say right around 30,000 per acre. It would be a good rule of thumb. I love Rolling Hills, just to let you know, but it is rural. It is rural. You are going to have to put in electric. You're going to have to wait to put in electric. You're going to probably need a cell phone booster, which is maybe $100 off of Amazon. It's not that expensive. And you better like trees. Just better like trees. There's a lot of trees out there. But it's only 15 minutes to a hospital, Walmart, restaurants, all of that. And if you go the other direction, it's only 15 minutes to the World Equestrian Center. So, yeah, pretty cool. T-Mobile is getting better out here. Oh, you're already out there, Jason. Okay, well, Jason knows. I've got 2 agents that live out there now. They're like, internet's okay today. Internet is also a thing. It's so weird because it's an absolutely amazing subdivision. It's my favorite subdivision. I love it. I don't live out there yet, but I think if I were going to move anywhere, it would be there. I love it. Let's see. With a septic tank, I've had friends and family that still use regular detergent, body wash, etc. that is not septic safe and have not had any problems. I have a septic tank. I have no issues with that whatsoever. With a new septic tank, would you recommend using regular? No, it doesn't matter. It's really more of the solids. Of course, you can put the scoop of whatever it is down the toilet. I don't know. There's something you can put in there. I have it sitting on my toilet, so I can remember to do it monthly. I don't, but I try. I really do try. I'm in Rolling Ranch. Okay, welcome. So maybe you've got like slightly better cell phone signal because you're a little closer to 44. Not very much. Yeah, no. I actually, Jeff moved out there and I was like, that's where he built his custom home. So he was like, okay, I have great cell phone signal. And then the next day I don't. And I'm like, did it rain? Because water really does. It will mess with your cell phone signal. And all those trees being wet and stuff. I don't know. Anyway, I was like, just get a booster. He's like, what? And I'm like, here. And I sent him an Amazon link to like $100 or something. It wasn't hardly anything. he put that 40 feet up in one of the trees, and he's like, I have 5 bars continually. He's like, I no longer have an issue. I could even use that as a hotspot. I was like, I'm so happy that worked for you. So yeah. Um, Soap products or using septic safe products. I haven't seen much of a difference. Now, and that's coming from not just me and my own personal experience with our septic tank, which we've had for 6 years. And then we had a septic tank before that as well. So I don't know, 10 plus years of septic. But also with property management. The only thing that you really, really have to be careful with is solids. We do not have a garbage disposal. We also I had one tenant that she used septic safe flushable wipes. Oh my goodness. Within 30 days, that thing was completely it was completely just filled with wipes. It was horrible. And that was a tenant charge because we did not do it. I was like, talk to the manufacturer. That was not septic friendly at all. At all. It completely plugged the filter up. So yeah, we had major issues with the septic with that. I say major issues. They had to come out and clean the filter and pump the tank. But at the same time, that was not an owner expense. He didn't do that. The septic worked fine as intended. It was her wipes. So solids will mess with your septic really bad. And that's really what gets pumped out is the solids. The water, that all goes out to the drain field. So I really don't think, now if you do a whole slew of bleach that you pour down it, yeah, that's going to mess with stuff. But regular detergent and stuff, that shouldn't mess with it from what I've seen. The tenants use all manner of different detergents and all sorts of stuff, and it has not really had an effect. The solids, however, yeah, people think when they flush things, it just magically disappears. No, it goes out somewhere. And the solids are what you're going to have an issue with. So no flushing tampons or maxi pads or baby diapers. Yes, that has been done. My daughter tried to, I don't know, 2-year-olds kind of go through this thing where they flush things down the toilet for kicks and giggles. Anyway, she flushed a mascara wand and it, of course, got stuck somewhere in the toilet and the plumber had to come out, remove the toilet and figure all of that out. That was loads of fun. Yeah, so solids. Yeah, no solids. You're good. Just reduce the amount of solids. You'll have less of an issue. Have you heard if they are going to pave the roads in Rolling Ranch? As soon as they have more houses, yes. You can actually check on any of the roads. All of the roads are normally figured out 3 to 5 years before they're done. And it's all planned out. So if you go to DOT, Marion County Department of Transportation, you can see exactly what their plans are for what roads within the county, if it's going to be resurfacing, if they're actually going to surface a road, if they're going to repair, if they're going to change the sidewalks. All of that is on there. It's actually fascinating reads. But all of that stuff is figured out years in advance. So you can actually see your own road and when it's going to be resurfaced or when it's slated to be resurfaced or when it's actually going to get paved. You can also get with your neighbors and request that your road be paved. You will have to share the cost of that, but they will actually do it. So that's something you can look into. It goes on your tax bill as an assessment, just to let you know. So yeah, are you allowed to be your own contractor when building a home in Marion County? I know that most of Florida allows it with certain restrictions. That is exactly how I would say it. It does allow it with certain restrictions. You have to still get permits. They are kinder, I would say, to owners getting permits than general contractors, I think. If it's an LLC, forget it. But if you own the home yourself, they tend to work with you a little bit more than larger companies or general contractors, just to let you know. All right, party animals here to shake things up. Oh boy. Okay, well, thank you for that warning ahead of time. I appreciate it. I'm really grateful right now that I do not have my microphone on. I don't know what is going on. Like all of a sudden, my allergies are like off the charts. I'm like, bizarre. Probably because I've been talking for an hour and a half. Y'all, an hour and a half. Good grief. No wonder my daughter called twice. She's like, "Are you still out there?" I don't know. It looks like our Monday nights are picking up, so I guess I'm going to continue doing these Monday nights. Um, and I really love the actual communication going on and stuff. It's a lot of fun when you guys talk back and ask questions and stuff instead of me just being up here saying the same thing week after week primarily. So we're going to continue with our lives on Monday nights. They start at 6 p.m. I hope that's a good time for you guys. I don't know. Our office closes at 5, so I basically just kind of hang out for a bit, finish up some paperwork, and then jump on a live before going home. So hopefully this is working out for you guys. I will be back next week to do that again, and I've got some really cool videos that I'm going to be doing this week, filming this week. So hopefully you will enjoy those. A lot of the interior homes and subdivisions, Sharni has been doing those. Excuse me, because she's basically been doing new construction like crazy in her career over the last couple of years. So she's been doing a lot of the houses. I primarily show Ocala because I absolutely love Ocala, and all of the really cool places and people and stuff that you can do here and stuff like that. So I will be continuing doing those. But I will actually look into that. Now it's bugging me. Thanks a lot. I have to go and check out about those businesses that are coming into 484 and 200. Now I'm like really curious about that. Denellen itself is getting a hospital. You probably have heard about that. That's being built. And we're getting a UF over in Ocala, UF Shands. So that's cool. Aw, thank you. Hopefully everybody thinks that way. All right. Well, I'm going to get some really cool videos. I've actually got somebody that is doing drone photography for me as well this week. So we should have that coming up and some really cool stuff coming up. So watch for that. And as far as a live where we can actually, communicate back and forth and stuff, that will be Mondays at 6 o'clock going forward. As long as anybody shows up, I'll be here. So thank you so much for coming in and chatting with me. And you can find me, of course, on YouTube. My email is in the notes already. Thank you, Mary. And if you want to see some more entertaining stuff, you can go over to my TikTok. It is not really educational. It's more just entertaining. But we've been doing a lot with TikTok over the last couple of years. I think it hasn't really been that long. That's really weird. Maybe a year and a half. I don't know. But yeah, we've been doing a lot on that. We've had almost 500,000 likes, but not that many followers. I don't know. I don't attract followers very much. I'm still working on that. But we have a lot of people that really enjoy the entertainment we have going on over there. So a lot of stuff about Ocala too, but it's just more entertaining stuff. This is more the informative and back and forth on here. So anyway, thanks so much for joining me tonight, and I will see you next week on Monday at 6 o'clock. And yeah, chat with you guys later. Bye.